Hello and welcome back to Better Than Adventure. I've gone back and got some sticky pistons, among other things. You may even say among us. So yeah, I'm gonna be continuing the big ol' staircase. It is going to be ending here. And then, actually no, it's gonna end up here. And then I'll have it go down kinda like this. Yeah, that's good enough. It's gonna intrude a little bit on this design, but I think it's gonna be okay. Funny story, so there are these video games that I've never played, and there's a lot of them. Some of them, like, I haven't played. I have them. I've had Nier Automata in my Steam library for years. I've played a bit of it, and then I was at some point like, okay, well, I think I'm going to play this eventually. For like YouTube, because I thought, would be fun to do like a thing on a Yokotaro game, and then, as you can probably assume, oh, that never happened. It's gonna happen one day, just not today or soon. I don't know. I either got to the, I guess, slight spoilers, I either got to the fight with those two sibling things where they bleed, or I got to the, like, ballerina woman. Whichever is the later one in the game, because those are the two moments I remember. Oh, there we go. Sadly for me, this does mean that I've missed out, due to my slightly more extravagant. Well, I don't mean extravagant literally. I mean it in a jokey sort of sense. Due to my more extravagant gaming tastes, like fucking whatever I usually play. I haven't really played a lot of the greatest TM hits TM of some stuff. Like, you haven't seen me play most. You haven't really seen me play, like, the big stuff. I don't know. Oh yeah, this also includes, what I was specifically kind of inspired by while talking with a friend was, so it started off as a sort of jokey discussion about, From Software stuff, because I'm one of the people who prefers From Software's older stuff. It's kind of difficult to explain, because I don't want to feel like I'm being bad faith, but, like, look. FromSoft has always been a company who likes to make weird games. It's just that eventually, with, like, Demon Souls, and especially with Dark Souls, the games got the recognition they deserved all along. You know? And the discussion was originally just about how I found it kind of sad how many people who otherwise would say, like, the kinds of people who like to make fun of, like, video game journalism will then just parrot the fact that reviewers didn't like the old From Software games because the reviews agree with them. And so the joke moved on to, like, the Quantic Dream games and such, and, that's when I realized, oh, wait, this is the company who made, well, a lot of stuff. It's kind of funny. So for those who don't know, there's a company called Quantic Dreams. They've made games that are basically trying to be interactive movies. Like, there are people who make kind of, at least, profound, quote-unquote, I guess I could use the term, profound in a positive sense, I mean video games. Like, fucking, I don't know, Hideo Kojima, Yoko Taro, you can name them, right? But their games are what you may say is good. However, there's this word called pretentious that I feel like is really, really overused. But at least from what I've seen, I haven't, thankfully, played any of them, but it seems like Quantic Dreams is one of the most pretentious, like, game development thingies I've ever came across. And it's kind of funny because it's only very recently that I've learned about both the studio and David Cage. And I think it's just kind of funny. I saw this... There's a meme floating about from, like, a while ago now, where it's like David Cage's hypothetical interaction with Yoko Taro, where David Cage is like, what if robots could be human? You know, what if a robot could learn to be... No, wait. It's like, can a robot learn to be human? That's David Cage's question. And then Yoko Taro responds to that with, well, can a human learn to be human? And David Cage is like, I don't understand what you mean. Which is just a joke on, like, the levels of, like, understanding between Yoko Taro and, you know, him. I think another thing is as well that, if you want to be a good game developer, you kind of have to be at least a little bit unserious. Not in the sense that, like, oh, you can't respect your games as art or whatever. That's stupid. Don't fall down, like, the Nintendo trap of only seeing your video games as toys. But I think you have to learn to, like, sort of laugh at your work in order to be able to grow from it, if that makes sense. You should be able to see something that you've made and think to yourself, like, I've, you know, enjoyed making this thing, but maybe there are ways to make it better, you know? But from what I've seen at least, with Quantic Dreams, it's a bit different, how shall we say, you know? Anyways, yeah, this is the path up here. Oh, and also, I remember, at least from the way that, the plot of Detroit Become Human was told to me, I'm gonna be honest, sounds kind of sussy. It feels like the implications of the story were just never thought of even a little bit. I don't know. It feels to me like the game was trying to be profound for the sake of being profound, more than because it had something profound to say. If that makes any sense. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm insane. Probably. But I don't know. It's one of those things, you know? I'm gonna think about where to put the doors later. Now I'll have to take this all the way to the bottom. Like the side pillars. I'll actually take it a few blocks down, and then I'll run out of stone, and then I'll take the express route down, and then continue. Oh, I will need to run back and get more stone, maybe. I will see. It's fine. Yeah. The issue is, I haven't actually played the games themselves, so, like, it's the issue of, like, I'm relying on what my friends tell me, and that means that even though, like, a lot of my friends are quite well-versed in video games to a degree where it's not like I wouldn't believe them, it's that there are some intricacies of what they tell you that, you just won't have, like, a full understanding of unless you played it yourself. Like, I know, for instance, that, like, Yoko Taro, for instance, will make his games kind of, they'll be a little bit more blatant, a little bit more honest about, what they're trying to say. but they'll sort of let you interpret what they mean. Like, they're just gonna tell you something, and the interpretation's gonna be up to you, you know? They're gonna reference a form of philosophy, and then it's gonna be like, what does this mean? Well, what do you think it means? But with the cage games, it's like, you know, they try to tell you, oh, this is what the game is about, and then maybe later on, if he changes his mind, he's gonna be like, no, it's actually not about that at all. And maybe it's a part of this is, me being a little bit petty towards what I like to call the story game. But, oh well. Maybe I don't like that. Here's the thing, right? People like to make the joke about, like, quote-unquote story games, where there are people who are going to, like, call anything from The Last of Us and, like, basically, they're gonna see Horizon Zero West, they're gonna see, like, some other game, and they're gonna see, like, one of the David Cage games, and they're all just gonna be called, you know, story games, because they have a story, as opposed to, like, Fortnite, which doesn't. I feel like the issue with a lot of this stuff is specifically that a lot of people just don't know what a video game is, like what a video game story is. Because for instance, like if you actually played, like more like, because there are people who don't play stuff like RPGs. They mostly, because you know, if your point of reference is playing COD and FIFA, then yeah, playing fucking The Last of Us is gonna be, oh yeah, you're playing a story game. And to you, because you only play, like, what's gonna be the slander? Let's say, so let me see, how is this gonna be? Okay, this is gonna, maybe, I think, yeah, no, this is one too high. Let's pretend I'm making fun of, yeah, sure, let's go for sports games, right? Or whatever. If you only play, like, Fortnite and sports games, then, I guess not Fortnite specifically, but, like, you know, those kinds of live service, shooters or whatever, and sports games, then obviously, if you're playing The Last of Us, you're gonna find it kind of profound-ish, because it's a story game, because it's the game that you're playing with a story. Wowzers. But if you have, like, you know, but if you're somebody who's already been playing, like, JRPGs or whatever for years and years, then the story game aspect of a game like that is going to be greatly diminished. Now, is there an argument that, so-called story games are basically designed from the ground up to, appeal to people who don't actually play video games of stories? Yeah, I think you could argue that, even if I don't necessarily think it's true. Purely because I feel like it's a little bit reductive. But yeah, I feel like those kinds of games, you know, like Detroit... You know, okay, Detroit Become Human feels a lot more, like, deep if you haven't played, like, Nier Automata. And I haven't played Nier Automata, and I've accidentally guessed a part of the story without playing it, because I was thinking of my own story for something I was writing, and I accidentally just guessed a part of the plot. And one of my friends was like, oh yeah, well, is this part inspired by Nier Automata? And I was like, nope. Fuck. It is kind of dumb that I've managed to accidentally spoil myself on the story, by the way, but, it's not, like, a major element to, like, the story beats, but, like, you know, it's not like I've spoiled myself on the third boss of the game or whatever. I don't actually know what the third boss even is. I don't know if I had a third boss that I fought. But I feel like I've kind of spoiled myself on, like, a story element that I'll then pay way closer attention to than I otherwise would if I didn't know that, you know, it was going to be an element in the story. And it sucks, but what can you do? Yeah, I'm also starting these one too high. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. But, oh, there's no torch here. Ah, whatever. I'll deal with it later. It's one of those it is what it is sort of things. Again, you know, to be fair, as long as people are, at the very least, aware enough of, like, good games, I don't care that much. But I'm the kind of person who will, like... The thing is, right, it's a sort of being annoying but being correct is going to be, like, how do I explain this, right? Like, if you are annoying about something, even if you are correct, you're still going to be annoying about it. So, one of the big questions of if people are going to respect your, admittedly, at least a little annoying opinion or not, is going to depend on how rampant the issue that you're describing is, or at the very least appears to be. Like, for instance, you know, if you were back in, like, you know, if you were talking about how Disney was slopifying itself, you know, 10 years ago, people would look at you like you're crazy. First of all, you're using a word that won't be popular for a decade, so that's weird. But, more importantly, stuff like the live action, you know, the live action Lion King and that sort of stuff, it just wasn't a thing back then, you know? And this idea of Disney, you know, basically digging up its own graveyard and, you know, desecrating its own graves for no reason except more money for the shareholders, you know, that would have been considered unheard of. That would have been considered stupid. Why would Disney ever do this? Why are you predicting they'll do something so stupid and foolish? Similarly, like, if it was back in, like, again, let's say 2013, 2014, 2015, you know, and you were making videos on YouTube talking about how live service is going to, you know, irreversibly damage the video game industry, people would look at you like you're crazy. What do you mean? Like, you know, Fortnite, it's a fun game. It's not like it's gonna have any major effects on the industry, but it's one of those issues where, oh, no, the annoying people seemed to have been right all along. Even though they were really fucking annoying about it. And it's sad. It's sad because there's nothing you can, like, do to stop, like, the ongoing decay of everything you know and love. Because the shareholders demand more money, and the shareholders have to be listened to. And, you know, it's sad. The worst part is, I think, that in some circles, people don't even really want to acknowledge that's a thing. And that kind of makes people believe stupid conspiracy theories. Because to some people, it is, like, an unacceptable idea that maybe the economic system that requires continuous profit forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and, like, infinite profits that continuously rise, some people think that it's a bit of a crazy idea that maybe this system is going to have some negative consequences on an industry that thrives on new, like, experimental ideas and creativity. Of course, I'm not going to be shocked about it. I'm going to just sit there and say, well, yeah, no shit. But alas, there's not much we can really do, except, like, in 10 years, be like, well, told you so. Though, you know, that told you so feels kind of annoying, even when it's completely correct. And maybe that's the problem with it. Yeah, I think this looks odd enough. I'll maybe keep the pattern going for a bit longer. I just need the stuff. I need more. I didn't think I'd run out of torches, but I did. So yeah, I'll have to get more torches. Yeah, it is what it is. I think one of the reasons why there are some people who, like, people focus on maybe a bit too much in the gaming industry is purely because it's kind of... I guess not even that. I feel like these days, people just kind of want... Like, we've reached a point where people just kind of want boogeymen. Like, we've seen this with Nintendo, where, like, the Switch 2 launch wasn't the best thing in the world, but it was still fine. You had a new Mario Kart that, okay, it has some underutilized elements of its open world, but it's still overall, from what I've seen, fine. You have, like, a console that is new and kind of pricey, but it's not that expensive, you know? It's, you have games that are keeping track with, you know, the rest of the industry. And, like, that's what I feel like the issue, where you have to say that either, like, the entire gaming industry sucks, or that, like, everything is good. Those are the only two consistent viewpoints. And the everything is good viewpoint is just incorrect. So what you're left with is you either have to say that everything in the gaming industry sucks, or that, maybe you know, maybe, I can excuse this type of corporate greed just this once. And when you do that, people rightfully tear into you for it. So, what do people do? I don't know, it depends. I've seen people do all sorts of stuff, including, yes, defending, you know, a lot of the done decisions, or attacking a lot of the still annoying but not as dumb ones. Like, for instance, I would argue, right? If Nintendo priced their hardware, and this is like, because recently they said, like, oh, we're going to price digital and physical games differently, right? I know some people are, like, saying that this will basically make buying digital games, like, this will just make buying physical more expensive. And maybe, and if that's the case, it's a shitty decision. But, you know, it's one of those we'll wait and see sorts of things, though it's a corporation, you should be cynical. But if it is true that Nintendo does what it seems like they're, like, suggesting they're going to do, and not what everybody expects them to do, so, like, if they actually make it so, like, a digital game is, like, $50 and a physical is 60, or a physical, you know, is 70 while the digital one is 60, I would argue that that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Even if, like, you know, things were better before. It's kind of like how the fucking everything has been so messed up due to COVID, like supply lines and such, that I'm pretty sure, like, it is still kind of ridiculously expensive to ship stuff from, like, east to west, you know, to ship stuff from China to the US or whatever, right? I guess you're shipping, yeah, no, you are shipping sort of east to west, but you're shipping eastwards. Kind of strange how the world is round. But yeah. So you have that problem. But more importantly than that problem, you also have the slightly less bad problem of you kind of have to deal with a lot of angry gamers, angry Joes, if you will. And the issue we kind of face in the gaming sphere is that a lot of the time, a lot of the anger can at least feel maybe a little bit justified, because, I mean, people are being priced out of their hobbies, you know? It's just that I feel like, overall, a lot of it can tend to feel a little bit, you know, flaccid. It's the sort of gamer rage thing, if that makes any sense. Where, like, you know, a lot of the time, gamers are gonna be mad, but not much will really come of it, you know? So then if I break these torches and pull these back, yeah, then that's gonna work and we can exit out. But if I place them back, I'll just do it like this. So I can manually trigger these, okay. And then we trigger these like that, and head up over through here. I guess you can sort of tell, but not really. Okay. So, we'll get the crafting table out and start making door number 1. What I'll need is some repeaters. Repeater griffins, maybe. I do like how you don't need redstone torches anymore. That's so nice. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. And then I guess I can do this for now. Okay, so I'll have to power it with, like, one lever for now. So that'll mean we'll have, this kind of system. I'm gonna make it so the trigger is coming from this direction. And then, when these are off, I'm gonna use... This isn't exactly gonna be the most efficient thing. Because I'm just sort of going along with it, you know? So yeah, if I have maybe... no, wait, I can just use... Yeah, wait, I can just use redstone torches for this, right? Well, I could if I could place it over here, right? Yeah. And then that would mean that I would need this here. And, well, that's kind of funny. Hold on. If I can't put it here because that'll happen. And I don't want that. So if I do this... This works. Wait, no. We only need one. Then I put this here. And this doesn't work. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, in order to do this, what I'm gonna need to do is I'm gonna need to place this over here. And then put this over here. But no, I can't do that because of the... Okay, so what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to put you here. Like this. Okay, so right now it's open. Ta-da! Okay, so I just have to replicate that over here. Okay, so I just... No, wait, it's 2 blocks. And then I'll add the redstone dust here. And this over here. Like this. Right, and then... Oh yeah, it's because of this. And so when this is open, it's, yeah, open. And that happens. And, as a final test, if I do this over here, everything is powered even from this source. Okay, because this is where I'm gonna put the flip-flop switch. Oh, I don't have sand. Hold on. I'm gonna get... I think I'll only need, yeah, 3 pieces of sand. Oh, yeah. So for those who don't know, how basic-ass redstone worked back in the day when you don't have a lot of the advanced features, I am not a pro at it, but, I know enough to, sort of know what I'm doing. Also, I think we may be at episode 100. Or maybe this will be really embarrassing if it isn't. Because I have nothing special for episode 100 planned. I never had. I thought there could be something funny we could do 10 episodes ago, but, clearly no. So, we don't actually have space for it anyway, but hey, okay. So what I'll do is I'll do this. And then I will use wood. Okay. So the way this works is, well, we need some more repeaters. You just... Okay, so we need to go up there. We need to use a lever. And, what you can do with it is you can put it here, and you can put this here. And then... sort of use it to get to over here. Now, if this is turned on, you know, Xbox turn on, we are actually too far away, so we'll do this. Okay, so all this gets us is this. But then what you can do is you can add a one-tick thingy here, which is basically just this, right? And then, so if I trigger it, now it's on. Trigger it. Sorry. Now it is closed. And if I trigger it again, now it's open. Ain't that just grand? Yeah, that is a quote from Bubsy 3D. So next what I'll do is I'll get some buttons. I'll actually need more. And, firstly, I'm gonna go up. And, I'm going to add a button... where could be a place that I could actually put it? Because the issue is, I can't reach it through most of anything, except... maybe over here. Yeah, that seems like an interesting spot for it. Let me just remove that dirt block so I know where... Oh, no, that's, a bit too close to the mechanism. Oops. But over here somewhere... that could work. Okay, so if I go... Yeah, okay, actually, this could work. So, yeah, then... this will go down... like this. Cover that up. And so now, theoretically, when I hit this button... that's hiding over here... Look, guys! There's no secret path out of here at all. And then when I hit it again... wow, there's a path! How cool is this, guys? Look at this. He used the stun, he cannot use the stun. Thanks for watching, guys. You know how it goes. But yeah. Okay, so now I have to... slide the other button through here. Oh. And hope nothing implodes while I do this. Yeah. Okay, so this doesn't do anything. That's good. But what do I do here? Okay, just... just slowly move it around. And hopefully, when I hit this button, it works, right? Why not? Is it too long? Where did my... Oh, here's the crafting table. Okay, I'm just gonna craft more repeaters in advance. Okay, please tell me it works. Look! It's like magic. Except it's not. It is pure genius. From somebody who's bad at redstone. But hey, I'll move these up here. It works! We can climb up here and close it. And it's closed! Okay, so let's go to the other side. Oh, sorry. And do the exact same thing. I'll see you next time when I do that. Goodbye.